let's be honest, choosing an eyeshadow palette can feel overwhelming. There are so many options, and somehow you still end up with something that looks amazing in the pan but not on your eyes. If that's happened to you, you're not alone. The truth is, it's not just about pretty colors, it's about the details most people overlook. So instead of wasting money, let's talk about what actually matters and how to pick the right one. What actually makes an eyeshadow palette good? Before we even get into specific palettes, there's something you need to understand. Expensive doesn't automatically mean better, and affordable doesn't automatically mean bad. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make when buying makeup. What really matters is how the formula performs. For example, blendability is everything. If your shadows don't blend easily, your entire look will feel harsh no matter how good your technique is. You shouldn't have to struggle to make colors work together. They should almost melt into each other. Then there's pigmentation. And this is where people get confused. Everyone thinks more pigment is always better, but honestly, that's not true. If a shadow is too pigmented, it can actually be harder to control and blend. The best formulas give you color, but still allow you to build it gradually. Another thing people don't talk about enough is fallout. You know when you finish your eyeshadow and suddenly there's powder all over your cheeks? That's fallout, and it's usually a sign of a messy formula. And then there's the color story. This one is so underrated. A palette should make sense. You should be able to look at it and instantly see how the shades work together. If you constantly need another palette to complete your look, that palette is not doing its job. Finally, finishes matter too. A mix of mattes, shimmers, and maybe even metallics gives you more flexibility. It's what takes your look from basic to complete. Once you start noticing these things, choosing makeup becomes so much easier. Budget-friendly doesn't mean low quality. Let's talk about price, because I know that's what most people care about first. There's this idea that you have to spend a lot to get good makeup, but honestly, that's not always true. There are some really solid, affordable palettes out there that perform way better than you'd expect. Take something like the Morphe 12-pan palettes. They're not crazy expensive, but they give you a really nice mix of matte and shimmer shades, and the formula is surprisingly smooth for the price. What I personally like about palettes like these is that they're balanced. You get lighter shades for highlighting, deeper tones for definition, and enough variety to create a full look without reaching for anything else. Are they perfect? No. Some shimmer shades can be a little inconsistent, but overall, they do their job and they do it well. If you're just starting out or don't want to spend too much, this is honestly such a safe place to begin. The everyday matte staple. Now, if you're someone who loves a soft, clean, everyday look, then matte palettes are going to be your best friend. And I know, matte-only palettes can sound a little boring at first. But once you start using them, you realize how essential they are. Palettes like the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes are a perfect example. They focus completely on matte shades, but that's exactly why they're so useful. Mattes are what shape your eyes. They create depth. They add structure. Without them, even the prettiest shimmer won't look right. What makes these palettes stand out is how easy they are to work with. The shadows aren't patchy, they're not chalky, and they blend so smoothly that you don't even have to think about it too much. And here's something important. Good matte shadows aren't about intense color. They are about control. You want something you can build slowly and blend beautifully. If you want a palette you can use almost every day without stressing, this is definitely the category to invest in. Minimalist and travel-friendly options. Not everyone wants a big palette with 15 or 20 shades. Sometimes you just want something simple. Something you can throw in your bag and not overthink. That's where smaller palettes come in, like the Victoria Beckham Smoky Eye Brick. At first, it almost feels too simple, just a few shades, but honestly, that's what makes it so good. You've got your base shade, a transition color, something to deepen the look, and a shade for definition. That's really all you need for most everyday looks. These palettes are perfect for travel. They are compact, easy to use, and you don't waste time trying to decide what to do. And there's something really calming about not having too many choices. It just makes getting ready feel easier. The Korean Beauty Middle Ground. If you want something that's not super cheap, but also not luxury level expensive, Korean beauty palettes are honestly such a good option. Brands like Daisy offer really nice quality for the price. The packaging might not feel super fancy, but the formulas are where they shine. The shadows are smooth, easy to blend, and the pigmentation is just right. Not too intense, not too weak. What I love about these palettes is how wearable they are. The shades are usually very soft and flattering, which makes them perfect for everyday looks. They're also really versatile. You'll find a mix of tones that work for both subtle and slightly more defined looks. If you want that middle ground option, this is definitely worth trying. Multi-use palettes that do more than eyes. Now this is where makeup gets fun. Some palettes are designed to do more than just eyeshadow, and once you try one, it kind of changes how you see makeup. Take the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette. It includes both cream and powder formulas, which makes it incredibly versatile. You can use it for your eyes, your brows, your liner, even contour if you want. And honestly, that's what makes it so special. It's not just one product, it's multiple things in one. If you like getting creative with your makeup or just want something that does more, this kind of palette is such a good investment. Luxury palettes, are they really worth it? Okay, let's talk about the expensive ones. Brands like Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona are known for their high-end palettes, and yes, they are pricey. But here's the honest truth. You're not just paying for the name, you're paying for the formula. Pat McGrath's shadows, for example, have this almost reflective shimmer that you just don't see in cheaper palettes. They catch the light in such a unique way. Natasha Denona is known for her matte formulas. They're incredibly smooth, very pigmented, but still easy to blend, which is actually hard to achieve. Are these palettes necessary? No, but if you love makeup and want something that feels special every time you use it, they're definitely worth it. Drugstore gems that surprise you. One of the best feelings in makeup is finding something affordable that performs like luxury. The NYX Warm Neutrals palette is one of those products. The matte shades are honestly the star of the show. They blend beautifully and feel way more expensive than they actually are. The shimmer shades are nice, not anything crazy, but they still work perfectly fine for everyday looks. This kind of palette just proves that you don't have to spend a lot to get good results. Unique indie finds. Sometimes the most interesting makeup doesn't come from big brands, it comes from smaller indie ones. Palettes like the Keto Squads are a great example. They feel different. The packaging is unique, the color combinations are thoughtful, and there's something about them that just stands out. Indie brands tend to experiment more. They are not always following trends, which means you can find some really unique products. And honestly, that's what makes makeup fun. The Everything Palette. If you're someone who wants one palette that can do everything, then something like the Patrick to Major Dimension palette is a great option. It gives you cream shades, matte shadows, and different types of shimmer finishes all in one place. So you can create full glam looks without needing anything else. The only downside is that the packaging can get messy pretty quickly, But honestly, that's a small issue compared to how versatile it is. So, what should you actually buy? Here's the real answer, and I'm going to say it like a friend would. It depends on you. If you're just starting out, don't overcomplicate it. Go for something affordable and easy to use. If you love soft, everyday makeup, invest in a good matte palette. If you travel a lot, pick something small and simple. If you enjoy experimenting, try something multi-use or a little different. And if makeup is your thing and you want the best quality, then yes, those luxury palettes are worth it. There's no one perfect palette for everyone. But once you understand what actually matters, you stop guessing and you start choosing with confidence. And honestly, once you understand your makeup instead of just using it, everything starts to feel easier, smoother, and way more fun. So next time you're looking at a palette, you won't feel confused. You'll know exactly what works for you. If this helped you even a little, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.